Welcome, Sir Adams. Okay, welcome to the mother of all conversations, as we like to do it. Voice of London Television, reaching out to the four corners of the world. I beg your pardon. Yes, trading issues. Welcome, Maudu. Great to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Great stuff. We are joined by John Kessie and then Sir Stephen Apolema. So, Sir Stephen, Mr. Adams have just joined us from Leicester in some part of the outside London, which is the inner part of the United Kingdom. Yes, so we have Adams, we have John Keys, and then we have Stephen Apolema. Others will be joining in, and as soon as they join in, definitely we'll be introducing them. Yes, so my fervent viewers and listeners across the globe, the four corners of the global world, you are still watching Voice of London Television. The Voice of London Television, the channel www.voltv.co.uk, with a feed to the radio station Voice of London Radio, www.volradio.co.uk. You can also watch us on all the social media handles: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and also Instagram. We'll be looking at trending issues, the current affairs program, the mother of all current affairs, me, myself, and I, Nana Osagyeo. We definitely will be looking at issues, one or two from the international scene, and then we go straight into the Pan-African world, of course, looking into issues from the motherland, Ghana, as well. So, guys, welcome to the show as we wait for Lady Nana Ama and also our good reporter, Godfrey, to bring us brief reports from that part of the world. But let's go officially now to welcome you guys, Mr. Adams, John Keys, and Sir Stephen Apolema. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you, Nana.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nana.
Okay, great. Okay, so first of all, let's pay homage to the president of Nigeria, former President Buhari. We heard the sad news that he's just passed away, and tributes are just pouring in. And so from Voice of London Television, the station that represents the voiceless, the marginalized, and the people, who also like to pay our respect. So, Adams, your take on the Buhari passing away?
As a Muslim, when somebody is demised, we say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To him we came from, and to him we will be going back to. So it is a call of nature, and obviously everybody would respond to that call. So all we say to Buhari is, may Allah accept his visitation and give him Jannat al-Firdaus. Ameen. But Buhari has done very good. He's done well for his country. They've killed him many years ago. The imposter, I don't believe it's the imposter Buhari that is dead. It is sad that the African will sell their heroes for ghosts. It is unfortunate that we do this to our heroes. No matter who becomes a president in a country, we need to rally behind them to put the country first, rather than trying to sabotage anything they do. We forget that we live in an ocean where we want the ocean to be dry. If the ocean is dry, we are exposed. But if the ocean is good and full, we've got alternatives. So Africans, this is an example. This is a very clear example for us to change our attitude and grow. Together we can grow, but divided we grow less and we fall apart.
Right. Okay. So that's from Adams being also a Muslim. One of the leading African heroes, Buhari, a former president of Nigeria, he was actually a military head of state and then came back to win elections to become president. And so that's an interesting one. Steve, your tribute to the former president.
Yes, Nana, thank you very much. And good evening to your panelists and that's the co-panelists and your listeners worldwide. Uh, as it is expected that we will all die one day, it is unfortunate that it had to be today that General Muhammadu Buhari should leave this part of the world. I remember Buhari when he took power through a military coup in 1983, overthrowing the president, that's President Shehu Shagari. I hope you guys remember him, Shehu Shagari. Yeah, he was overthrown by Buhari in December 31st, 1983. As head of state, Buhari launched the war against indiscipline, emphasizing austerity, anti-corruption, and strict discipline. He came to power through election in 2015, and yes, 2015 to 2023, where the current president, Tinubu, succeeded him. My condolences to the bereaved family and my friends, Nigerians. You know, my wife is a Nigerian,
Oh, I
so
see. So this must be close to your heart.
yes, I actually stayed in Port Harcourt for some time.
Oh, I
I have
see.
a very close friend of mine in Nigeria that we do business. So my heart goes out to all Nigerians and also to the African fraternity.
Okay. Thank you so much, Steve, for giving us that touching tribute. Uh, now, my brother John Keys. Keys, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are
Yes,
you?
we
How's
lost.
everyone on the panel doing?
Yes, we lost one of the Nigerian greats, former military leader, and then became a president through democratic rule. A brief condolences to him from your end.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of someone coming to this world and everyone has a part to play on this planet, and I think he's done his best. And my condolences to his family. Um, One of the things that I find astonishing is most of the time I feel most of the African leaders when they come to power, their hands are tied because of the links they have with the West. And as much as you can see, what you can see happening is African state nations saying to themselves, you know, we're tired. We want to govern ourselves and maybe talk about how we and our people are. I think most of the time we forget that we had people like Rollins, a Champon, who they all tried, but their hands were tied.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know much about him, but I do know so I think Steve mentioned Shegu Shagari. I was a kid then, you know, running around in Ghana when my dad took me back there. But I just think that Nigeria in general when you look at the structure of what the West did to it, it's amazing they still are on the world stage, because they divided that country and just turned them against each other, really, for resources. And you can see that way whenever as much as people like to say we were already educated people before the West came there, we were already doing stuff, we just forgotten, and I think sometimes there's always good in going back, because you can find the new and something inspiring in the past that now becomes the new thing. If you notice, Traore is going back to what his predecessors and all these people who tried to make a difference, tried to change, and he's learned from their mistakes, and he's come back and saying, no, I know this trick. You can't do this with me. And he's doing very well. I have such an admiration for that guy.
Yeah.
He's so young, and he's basically inspiring other youth to maybe fight when something is wrong.
Yeah.
And life in general can be a fight.
All right.
So
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So let me go and welcome our beautiful lady, Nana Ama. Yes, Nana Ama, thank you for joining us. And how are you? At the same.
Network na hard drink. Good
We all know say
evening.
network, the network is really, really bad. But you've done your best to at least join us, and we appreciate it. Yeah?
You're welcome.
Yes. Now, gentlemen, let me, you've all heard Nanama, yeah? Nanama, we are joined by, as you can see on the screen yourself, by Adams, and then we have John Keys, and then we have Steve Apolima, and then so anybody else who joins, we'll just give them a mention. We are also live across our main channels on the TV, a feed to the radio, and the social media handles. Let me big up some of the social media viewers who have joined us. We have Lex. Thank you for joining us, Lex. We have Nana Abba. Nanaba. No, it's Nanaba. Thank you for joining. We have Les Delicis. We have AB. We have Ohima Benampo. Ohima B. Nampo. I hope I've got the name right with these social media names, Emmanuel Anim, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. ID, thank you for joining. Then Emmanuel, we got another Emmanuel. Then Gifty, thank you for joining. We have Jean, thank you for joining. We have Kev, we have Lady Awa, we have Prissy Darling. Prissy Darling, thank you for joining us. We have Abnas Opong, thank you for joining us. Josephine Nyakon, that's it, baby. Lady Efua, that's it. Adama, Lady Adama, we thank you for joining us. Mr. Anonymous, thank you for joining. And then we have President Bentua One. Hey, Mr. President. Okay, thank you for that. Charles Siluobi, Osei Mark, Daniela Tirico, Catherine. We have a long name. Look, I'll be mentioning it as we go along because I've got a long list. And so I'll do the first part and I'll come back and continue. So, gentlemen, we have hundreds of viewers joining us. So let's go straight before we speak to Nanama to give us the trending news. I would like us to look at the issue of the Nigerian Igbo king who wanted allegedly Ghanaians, some Ghanaians, not all Ghanaians, have taken to the streets to demonstrate at the presidency. Why should the Igbo, should I say the Igbo chief priest or the Igbo king in Ghana, is he a king? Somebody can only become a king if he has a kingdom, all that. But this platform is a credible platform, a platform with high titrations and looking at issues. So we'll look at that particular issue trending in Ghana, where the Igbo king has alleged that he's acquired a 50-acre land and going to build schools and create a kingdom and becomes a king. And people have become a bit of a hysteria and taken to some people don't even understand the whole thing and they've taken to the streets. So let me take the views from Adam first, and then I'll come to Steve. Steve, who must have a bit of knowledge in how these Nigerians operate because he is married to a Nigerian. Okay, Adams, your a brief take. Let's not spend too much time on the subject.
All right, Nana, I think that as an African and as a legal citizen of Ghana, I don't know whether he has legalized his stay in Ghana. If he has, then he has every right to acquire a property in the country. But as to establish a kingdom or a faith is something that is not right. He has no right to establish any kingdom or any place that he can call his own Igbo land in Ghana. That right is not there for him. But to acquire a property and build schools, build hospitals and everything, yes, he has the right to do so. And he's doing so in the help of the country and to the people in that locality. But I don't understand why he should make a call that they should install him and give him a title, including the land that he has acquired. That is no. We should try to discourage people from doing that. Even most of the traditional leaders of the country are messing up the country. They are the custodians of the land and they are messing up the land. So how can we bring another one in who is also from a different country to come and acquire that title to become another king in Ghana? That we don't accept that. If you go to the Ashanti region,
yeah, so Ms. Adams, your point is taken. Let's try and be able to get views from the other panelists. Okay, let me go straight to Steve. Steve, your take on that?
Yes, this is very interesting. Interesting because I know that we have Chinatown in the US and there are citizens from our country who host chieftaincy titles in the US and UK, and I don't see anything wrong with that. For me, I see this as an opportunity for some rich man to invest in the economy of Ghana. And why are we fighting about this? Please, if the Pram people don't like it, I have 100 acres of land in my village. If he is listening to me, I'm inviting him to come and put up his kingdom. We'll give him that title. We have Chinese citizens that because of their contribution to the community in Ghana, we have installed them as Nkoswahene. So this is not new. It shouldn't be news that we should be crying wolf about it. This man is bringing development into the country. He is bringing money to come and spend in the economy. So I see this as an opportunity. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay.
No, if I can come in, Apolema, I believe I was going to say something that if you go to the Ashanti region in Kumasi, for instance, we have Awunaga, we have Mosi Zongo, we have Awuna Infante New Town. They are townships that have been established by the dwellers from different places in Ghana who have come to the Ashanti region. Per their contribution and what they've done, they acquired the Ashanti Kingdom, gave them places to live. And the places they appoint people to lead, those are the Odikro. So if the Mosi people are in Mosi Zongo, the Ashanti will ensure that we've got a Mosi man who will liaise between his people and the Ashanti Kingdom to Ashanti. So there wouldn't be any conflict or anything that the Ashanti chief or the Ashanti wouldn't be privy to it. So if this guy is coming into Pram Pram, he has acquired his private property, he wants to invest. As I said earlier on, nobody is saying you shouldn't invest. But to say we should give you a kingdom, it's a different thing altogether.
Okay,
It's different thing altogether.
so point made. But did he really say he wanted to build a kingdom? Because kingdom.
If I can make a correction.
Yes. Before you do, Steve.
Build an Igbo village.
Steve, before you do, I want to share a bit of light on this kingdom thing. I think that the title king, we are not like a country like Saudi Arabia where we have a king, or UK where we have a king, and so we have the prime ministerial system. Ghana has a presidential system, and we are a republic. So I don't see any of these chiefs, paramount chiefs, and all these nobility when it comes to chieftaincies becoming a king. And so I don't know whether, I never heard it from himself, but, and I don't know whether it was twisted or probably the way Africans sometimes might use words. You, Steve, you are a professional, you are an author of no means repute. And so let's look at that from an angle and why some factions of the Ghanaian community become so upset, hysteria, and take to the streets. Yeah, go on, Steve.
Yes, Nana, the thing is this. Ghana is not a kingdom, so we don't have a king. Nigeria is not a kingdom, so they don't have a king. It's just a title people just put on themselves. Say I'm a king of Ashanti, king of Igbo. You know, we are not practicing a monarchy. You get it?
Yeah.
But this man, per the story that I read, is that he wants to build a village where when his people or dignitaries from his country visit Ghana, they can come and spend some time there. You get it?
Yes.
So because he ascribed a king to himself because he thinks he's the king of the Igbo people, I think people are just misconstruing it, or to say he is coming to set up a kingdom in Ghana, which is not possible.
Okay. Yes.
Look at the economic impact that setting up a village like that is going to have on the economy of Ghana, and welcome such people. Trump is welcoming people who can spend millions and billions of dollars in the US economy. These are the kind of people we need. We don't need people who come and then be perpetrating crime in our economy.
But do you think probably, do you think that probably is, yeah, John, you come in right after my point. Steve and Adams, including John and our beautiful Nanama. Let me also welcome our lady, ladyship, Miss Evelyn Hart. Thank you for joining us. I like to say that, do you think people probably misread and misinterpreted what came out? Because you know, in Africa, people call themselves king. I've seen Ashanti don't have any more kingdom, but most people refer to the Ashanti as a king. John Kessie, come in. Keys.
I'm born British, right? And I lived in Ghana, okay? And for many years, I never knew that the whole entire bombs would belong to my granddad and his people. Heck, right? So what I'm saying is, for some reason, the government, whether we go through to military lead or whatever, when they have to relinquish land to people want to buy land, they have to go, when they do the paper, what do? They go through, there was a tradition. And quite frankly, I don't think the monarchy in the British, in Britain and all these places, they learn all of that from us. Right? So I feel sometimes when you go back, some of the traditional things that we do has merit and educational purposes. If someone, why do we still have an Ashanti king then? Why do we have it? It's there for a reason. In fact, if anyone knows, the Ashanti people defeated the British for 100 years. I'm British, and I know this. It means something. When Hitler and all of these wars were going on, they've gone. History, the one thing that I don't agree with is how Black people have allowed their history to be destroyed and let the West interpret their own ideology and their own narrative of how we are.
John,
When I went, no,
John, please, can I come in? You see, the framers of the first constitution of Republic of the Gold Coast acknowledged that the traditional rulers are the real custodians of the land, acknowledging the culture and the traditions of our country. But the latter day saints educants, intellectual fools, are trying to wipe off our traditions and our culture and take upon a culture that is borrowed, which is not doing us good. Because if we don't know where we come from, we will never know where we are going. Look at what is happening in our country now, in Ghana now. We are trying to be British more than the British themselves,
That's
which
exactly
is in
my
fact
point.
ruining the culture fiber of our country. It is destroying us. So if we've got places, we've got settlers that have got representations as heads of their community or suburbans, it's welcome. So the Igbos can have Igbo town. We've got Chinatown, but we haven't got China King or
I
China
don't,
Chief.
I'm not, Steve, I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I'm saying is, if obviously that's going to be done and it's done through the right channels, whether it be through the law or the traditional elements of it, it gives, because the traditional people are also part of Ghana, aren't they?
They are the real custodians of the land. Nobody should dispute that fact.
Okay, guys.
I like
Gentlemen.
the way you are. I
Yeah,
like the way you are presenting your facts.
okay, gentlemen. Let's. I think we've looked at the death of the president, of the former president of Nigeria. We've actually paid tribute to him. And then we've linked it to the Igbo issue that is going on in Ghana. And so now let's welcome Nanama, for Nanama to give us a brief report from Ghana and other parts of Africa that is trending. And then we can take one or two from that. Moving forward, as we on this Pan-African platform, Voice of London Television, affiliated to Voice of London Radio and other flagships. Nanama, welcome. Akwaba. Nana dene koso. Nanama nenumuheriam. Yankwe.
Yeah. Greetings to all our cherished viewers. So these are the trending news in Ghana. National Cathedral is not abandoned or repurposed, like rumors came that it was abandoned. The Traditional Council distances itself from Igbo King issues and all other activities that concerns him. Captain Smart shot Ghanaians. Captain Smart, there was this video of him and the Igbo King, and Ghanaians are bashing him, so he shuts Ghanaians up. And I got the story. People, there is this rumor that Agrada is receiving a special treatment, which is not true. No special treatment for her. There is this immigration officer who was missing, and finally he was found. But the bad news is he was found dead. And the swearing in of the new elected executive of Ghana Journalists Association. There is this level 200 student who has been jailed for 10 years. Probably this is what I got. I'll go straight to
Okay. Thank you, Nanama, for this brief ones. I think one interesting one is the Kaswa Jandam, our Kumsi or something like that. We'll look at that as well. So quickly, let me go straight to the National Cathedral. Let's just be brief on that. Steve Apolima, your take on the National Cathedral, and do you have any insight into what the government intends to do with it?
Well, to be very honest, I don't know what is going on with the National Cathedral. For me, in my candid opinion, that place should be used for another thing altogether. The state shouldn't invest anything. We've already invested enough to dig a pit. We shouldn't sink in any more money when we can use it for other purposes. That's all that I can say. I don't have an official position for the government.
Right. Adams, I'm hearing because the reason why I put this through is that I read from certain media platforms, but I'm not sure whether they were authentic enough, because what I heard was that the government was trying to do a U-turn and continue with the cathedral. And I'm not sure. So, Adams, have you heard anything?
No, I haven't heard anything. All what we need is we need to get every single penny stolen from the Ghanaian coffers retrieved.
Yes.
So the amount of money that has been wasted, the government should ensure that they retrieve the money and use that to develop that place so we can have a meaningful use of the place. We can give it to private developers, but I don't trust any of our private developers in Ghana, because they are going to do it to their own benefit. We've already wasted a lot of money. There were profitable properties over there. The judges' homes were there. I don't know why they demolished that and wanted to please another god, because we've got so many churches in Ghana.
I'm hearing an interruption. I think there's a music coming through. I don't know where the music is coming through from. Let me check my technical director. Screw, can you check for us if there's a sound coming from somewhere? Can you guys hear it? Can you guys hear it?
Yeah,
No,
I can hear it. I can hear there's a background music.
Okay, I think we've got rid of it now. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yes, that's very good. Okay, so we are quickly looking at the National Cathedral. We have a 50 million or 58 million US dollars to dig just a hole, now turn into a swimming pool. And then aside that, we understand that there were buildings there belonging to the judicial institution. There was the ambassador residence from Mali. There were the judicial judges' residences. There was real estate developers. And then when they did calculate the amount of monies that the government have to pay and compensate these other people, the whole amount of money runs into almost 200 million US dollars gets gone into the gutter. And so this is sad. Of course, the previous government, I want us to look at it from a very balanced and an unbiased angle, okay? Because we believe in nation building, but in our looking at issues, we should be very applied due impartiality and make sure we are balanced. So I think it's wastage, and we have a law that deals with ministers or chief directors or sector, individuals who have hold position and cause the country financial loss to the state. They can be charged, taken to court, and go to prison for that. Okay, so 200 million, and the place now.
Nana, it shouldn't be only prison. It should be convicted all properties belonging to that convict confiscated, and then finally keeping in prison to set an example to others who have the intention of doing the same, because it's becoming that the political traditions in the country are becoming, you wash my back, I wash yours tomorrow. We want to do away with that. So there should be a punitive measures to prevent anybody with the intention of stealing from the state from going into politics. As we
Okay,
observe here.
point made. But let me bring this twist in. That particular place, can't the government build probably affordable council flats for the poor people to also get in there, so that it will not be just like the rich against the poor, and then we can merge and try and close the gap between the rich and poor? Can't we have a whole council flats being built like it's done in the West? Let me go to John on that. John, what do you think of that?
Okay, so ideally you wanna do some form of, I don't know much about this cathedral, right? But where is it located? You have to do like an environmental study. Look at the area and see how it would benefit. I just think sometimes you got to look beyond just the ideology of that cathedral. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Africa has too many churches, right? And I think you could turn it into a national, something that will bring money to the country, or something that will help other people. Turn it into a social project, or I don't know.
Okay, all right. So that's John's view on that. Let me go to Stephen. Your view on that. Do you think that I'm suggesting that when you look at the lives of our people, it's very hard to for people to find a place to live, and also these landlords are overcharging these tenants, and it's like a free for all. Even there's a law to curb the price of renting, it's not working. And government's intervention to build all this. We know about the Sagleme housing, which is stuck in the forest and getting rotten or something like that. And for 8 years, the previous government couldn't do anything when the place is almost nearly finished. If you speak, they'll tell you the case is in court and all that, all those wrangles. My point is that this new land, of course, it's in a posh area. Why can't we develop it as a affordable housing, or probably council flats, for us to be able to fill our people in there as well? Why should that place be a place for just a monument or something? Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, Nana, I know the government of the NDC has a plan for the place, but as to whether they are going to use it for affordable housing, that is not something they will consider right now. If for anything, they would rather complete the project they started, that is the Segleme project, the affordable housing they started. They would want to complete that one. But they have plans for the parcel of land that was meant for the National Cathedral. I want to add quickly, this was a promise by one man. He couldn't fulfill that promise to his God and ended up wasting the nation's money. So it has turned into a crime, which I know is part of the government, or what is it that they even called it? Nana, help me out.
Yes.
That committee, Okuja to Ablaka headed.
Okay. Let me welcome John Brown. John Brown, welcome to the show, Dr. John Brown.
Hello, yeah. Good evening, sir, and good evening to my fellow guests and panelists.
Okay, they are all hearing you, and they all welcome you to the show. Yeah, Doc, thank you. As usual, you never miss a show. We appreciate your indulgence. even if you have a hectic time at the hospital. And we really do appreciate you once again, Doc.
Nana, you see, with that project and the parcel of land, Accra is already congested. If we were to be a very serious people, we would try and decongest Accra. We will try as much as possible to decongest Accra. So that parcel of land as a property development should be no. We already haven't got bed places in our major hospitals, like the 37 military hospital, the Accra. So if anything at all, there should be a very good healthcare facility there. So it could serve the so-called the poor people and the rich people as well. And don't forget, if we try to have a very good health sector set up in Ghana, it will be a tourist attraction, health tourist attraction that will earn Ghana some money, and also we can use that to improve the quality of life and then educate our doctors more to be very good, and that will also prevent these politicians stealing money to keeping it in their banks for fear that tomorrow they will be sick and come and pay huge sums of money in Harley Street. We need to think progressively. We need to be progressive.
Okay, Adams, point taken. Let me, Doc.
The director of the
Yeah, Doc.
Dr. Paul.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Nanama, were you trying to come in?
Yes, please.
Okay, go on, Nana.
The director of the cathedral, Dr. Paul Pokumensa, has reaffirmed that the cathedral isn't only going to be used as a sacred national structure to host key religious state events, such as state funerals and national Thanksgiving services. It is also going to serve as a cultural heritage landmark, Bible museum, and it is also going to contain a biblical garden, banquet hall, 350-seater restaurants, library, and a conference center, which is also going to promote faith-based tourism and national pride.
But was that necessary when you have judges' residence there? You have the Malian ambassador's residence there. You have the judicial institution there. You have real estate there. This Nana Addo came in and just demolished the whole thing to the tune of 200 million US dollars. And the same thing happened to the banks. You know, the restructuring of the banks. It costs almost 22 or 20 something $1,000. And they could have restructured it with how much? I think 9,000, not 9,000, I think it's 9 million, yeah. 9 million US dollars to restructure that. They ended up using 22 million. You see, so the wastage was too much. I'm not trying to take on the previous government, but the point I'm trying to make is Ghana first before anything else. And I want us to, this is where the Pan-African thing comes in. We look at the country first, you know, selflessness, moving the country forward. So my position and my take on this wastage is that we need to keep them. We come with these grand ideas, and for 8 years, they couldn't put anything there. I don't know if this new suggestion, like Nanama said, is something that, you know, we need to look at. But it's quite interesting. Dr. JB.
Hello, sir.
Before you come in, we spoke earlier about the death of the Nigerian president, the former Nigerian president. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry, yeah, he's passed away, and we you know, shared our condolences and bereavement. Yeah, and then we linked that to the Igbo issue that the youth have taken to the street demonstrating, the King thing about the Igbo thing, and then we are now looking at the cathedral. So briefly, just be brief on those three subject matters.
Okay. Well, once again, good evening to you and the opportunity to also express my view. Briefly about the Nigerian president who is dead, I think it's normal. As we age, our body will not be able to support us forever. So let's put that one aside. You wish him the best and may so rest in peace. For the issue of the Igbo king, I think the youth don't have a full understanding of the whole situation, and I think we are trying to take issues out of context and we are trying to exaggerate. Why am I saying that? If you go to London, US, they have the Ashanti chiefs, Ashanti king. Guns have their kings and chiefs in London. They have it in Washington and New York, and they even celebrate Akwasida in London. I am a boss. You are in London, so I think that you can attest to this.
I'll
The
leave that to Adams
Okay,
to take that one on.
okay. Ashantis,
Hey,
Ashantis do.
doctor, you are trying to put me on the spot.
Okay, okay,
Okay, this is
okay.
just a humor. Continue.
Okay. Ashantis do celebrate their festivals considered in London. The LS also do the same thing in London and other Western countries. So if Ashantis or Ghanaians living in the diaspora can celebrate their culture, have their cheese. If Igbos also living in Ghana have their cheese, I don't think it's a big deal. If you take
Okay.
it out of context, saturate it. But my
Doctor,
concern is about the land.
Doctor, but the difference is, you
My
see, when
concern
the
is the land.
Ashantis are celebrating the Akweside, it's not known to the states. It's not known to Tottenham, everybody in Tottenham, that the mayor of Tottenham should give us a place that we have to acquire broad water farm. We are
Yes,
predominantly there. So we should
yes,
make broad water farm Ashanti Kingdom. It's not recognized. So you
yes.
can
I'm
have
telling
the
you. Yes,
title, do your
yes. I'm telling you.
celebration, enjoy with the
Let him
people.
land.
That's what we call integration. Here we encourage that.
Let him
We
land,
encourage
please.
integrations,
Yes.
yeah.
Let him land, please. I'll be grateful if you can let him land. My concern about this is about the piece of land which have been given to them for them to establish their own kingdom and their own territory. That shouldn't be done. They're supposed to be part of it. They shouldn't be given a parcel of land to build their own houses and form their own kingdom in that part of land. If they come together, having their own community, they come together and they begin to make their own bylaws, and that becomes a threat to the state. So my concern
Okay.
is about the land which have been given to them to live together. That is a no, and the government I think should not allow that. But for a normal celebration of their culture, their identity, and having a chief, which we can do in other countries, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's my situation. And let me finally conclude with the cathedral, the National Cathedral. I'm not pleased with how Mama and NDC have handled the National Cathedral. Why? Because the decision by Akufo-Addo to build National Cathedral doesn't make sense to me in the first place. It's a completely business project without valid common sense in the first place. A serious government that want to bring development to the people shouldn't have a cathedral as its objective, a priority. Simple. A cathedral shouldn't be a priority of any serious government. That means business. So the first week of Mama, I'm betting that they're going to what first of all dissolve the board of the National Cathedral, sack any director, sack any chief executive officer, because that project will not in any way contribute to the country's development in any way. And I learned they have a board CEO over there still taking salaries as minister of state. And what way would that contribute to our development of the country? And I'm not happy with how NDC have handled the whole situation. Yes, it's very bad. That cathedral should be scrapped. It doesn't make sense. It contradicts to common sense. An issue about the housing and asylum housing. The problem we have with our land tenure system in Africa or Ghana is different from Europe. In Europe, what that was the government owned all the land, but in Ghana, the chiefs own the land and sell the land, and you have to go and buy the land from the chief, pay to the chief, and when it comes to the planet, the government. So that is the problem. So the government should take over the land sales from the chief. If you want to buy a land, you go to the district assembly or land commission, buy a land, pay the money to the government, and the government will send the chiefs the portion. So that they're going to have this issue solved. And I think that will help us to our land irrigation. We can plan well.
I'm only interjecting. I'm not cutting you. That's a very interesting point you've raised there. And I'm
Yes.
sure that it's a big, massive interest that I think the state needs to look at, because
yes, let's look at that.
Nana, it's highly impossible. It is an entrenched in the first constitution of the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah,
The
yeah, Adams.
traditional rulers are the real custodians of the land. Kwame Nkrumah couldn't touch it.
Yeah,
Kwame
but
Nkrumah
Adams,
supported it.
law.
So all the
Adams,
government
nobody
lands
is
that were
saying,
acquired were legally
Adams,
acquired.
Adams, nobody is saying that an overnight decision to just go grab land from. Nobody's saying that. We are having a discussion.
No.
and
There are
talk-
certain discussions we don't encourage.
No,
because
no,
it's
no,
not
no,
going
no.
to
No,
work.
you can't say that.
Adams, don't
Mr.
say that. Don't say
Mr.
that.
Jackson.
We
I
don't
feel,
say
Mr.
that.
Adam, Mr.
Well,
Adam,
I agree with all this.
I feel
Yeah.
being in a situation whereby you buy a land and the chief has sold the land to about multiple buyers, and you have to go to court, police station because of one land you want to buy, and the trouble is costing twice. It's enormous.
Okay,
So if
Doc.
the chiefs can be for the land for the chiefs. I'm coming. The land will be for the chiefs. But if you want to buy a land, you go to the state agency that requests and plan the city. So
Yeah,
when you
but
pay the money to the government, then the government will send the money to the chiefs straight away.
yes.
So the cities can be well planned and no land double land sales.
Yeah,
And any
Doc.
issue of land is solved.
Doc, I'm even trying to consolidate the point you are raising. And that's why I said it's a very good, interesting point that you've raised there. I'm trying to link it to the new Cocoa Board and then the new, I don't know if the Cocoa Board is new or it's there already, but I'm talking about the Gold Board. Okay, and then the Cocoa Board. Everybody has to go through the government now, and that sealed all this, especially the new Gold Board has been formed, which has been able to block holes that these thieves used to use to siphon gold from Ghana. This has helped the government to bridge, to get enough foreign not foreign, but gold reserves that has also affected the foreign exchange. And Ghana doing very well, even is it some of the Finch, those bodies are recommending and acknowledging the good works of the government in just 7 months. The point I want to make, yeah, go on.
I think they should actually. It's a good idea, but maybe legislate some policies to make sure it might take some time to talk to the chiefs and see that look, we can't have all these lands being double sold and all these arguments and fighting. So this is how we're going to do it. It needs to be legislated.
John, I definitely agree with you. I'm not, and this is we are only just having a discussion and looking at it from here and from this angle. If we this program in particular from the diaspora reaching out to the global world and also Africa and Ghana, we can do a petition and send to government because we all want the country to do well. But it's a very positive discussion that has come to the fore. We are looking at it's a tide, so it's not that bad. Steve, you've kept quiet on this subject matter. What's your take on that? Steve, are you there?
Yes, Nana, I'm there. You see, the conversation, it's not about land reforms. We've had several land reforms.
Yes.
And it's a very slippery road when we are talking about land title. You see, already our chiefs are feeling that they don't have any power to exert. When it comes to mineral resources, it belongs to the state. The only thing that they have power over is the lands. And you know that government can acquire lands compulsorily. We all know that, right? So
yeah, and even Steve, the point you are making is
a whole discussion that we can have.
Yeah,
but I don't see how it connects to the Sagleme project and the parcel of land that was earmarked for the for the National Cathedral, because this is land that has been acquired by the state already. It is not in the custody of the people, the chiefs.
Yeah, but we are talking about the whole land issue in Ghana. That's what I thought we were talking about, not
Yes,
just
it
the
is a
cathedral.
whole
Yeah.
topic on its own, which I think we should really have time and discuss, because it's land, owning land title is a big problem in Ghana.
Yeah. One of the things too that they did at the moment is that anytime the states wants a particular land, it can acquire it. It can take it and compensate the stool land, okay, for anything meaningful that benefits the states. So there's that thing which is also in the laws of Ghana. And so if the government's usage doesn't come to fruition and they want to, give the land back, then that goes first back to the stool people. So we have a lot of things, and it is a bigger field. It's a bigger field. But the idea that every land in Ghana could now become a state land, and various stool and custodians can be compensated, so that this issue of all the hula baloo, especially if you want to buy a land in Accra, what you go through and all that nonsense could be.
Yes, so that you just stop it once and for all.
Yeah, so that's what doctor was
Nana,
trying to suggest.
it-
Yeah.
it's because we are not law abiding. To acquire a parcel of land, you go to the landowners. You have to do your due diligence. There are various institutions that you can cross-check and ensure that the land that you are buying, you are the first buyer, or the land has been bought by somebody and has been acquired again by the actual owners of the land. So you will know. But because we are not law abiding, the fact that you know that this land is at a commercial place and you know Mr. Mensah owns the land, because you are greedy, you want to buy it and use your force to get Mr. Mensah out of the way. We are not good. We are naturally born bad. So we've taken advantage of these
All
things and
right,
we have done
Adamu, we hear you. We hear you.
there are a
This is
lot
a
of laws
whole
in Ghana.
this is
We
a whole
need
topic.
to have people to work on the laws. That's it.
Okay,
This is
but I'm
this is a
sure.
whole topic. So if we can just have another show that we can discuss land and land reform.
Yes, I think it's a big field. We need to find another segment of our programs that we can just talk about land issues. I think it is quite interesting. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, let's quickly just take two stories, and then we can bring the whole show to a close. Quickly, I want to look at something that happened in the course of the week. We discussed the other ones that we couldn't touch today. I want to discuss the Agrada issue. Patricia, I think her name is what? Nanama, can you help me on her name? Is it Patricia something? Asedua, I think. Nanama.
Patricia Sedua.
Okay, Patricia Sedua, yeah. Okay, and then I want us to link that to the Kaswa Jandam, aka our Kumsins issue that took place. So, who wants to take that first? Okay, Steve, you are very conversant with the ground. So, if you can share a bit of your view with regards to Agrada and then Kaswa Jandam, our Kumsin.
Nana, thank you again. I live in Hawa Kunsin's constituency. That is, she was my former MP. Now, my own Honorable Phyllis Nakoyo is the MP. I greet her this evening. Please, with regards to what happened at Ablekuma North rerun, in part, I should say I'm happy that it happened to her, because it is something that she has been doing to us in her constituency. But in another part, I feel that it shouldn't have happened, because it doesn't speak well of Ghana in totality in the international world. Just 19 polling stations that we are rerunning. We cannot have a peaceful election, and it has to lead to this scuffle. It's an embarrassment, and in a way, it takes away from the beautiful democracy that we are practicing. Because
Okay.
this sort of
Steve, I'm only interjecting with you. Don't worry. Interjection, yeah? You continue. But Steve, that point you made, that you were a bit, like the karma, it's another karma onto her. When the comments come in from the social media handles and the mainstream news, he's saying that the woman was a very wicked woman during a tenure under, especially Nana Akufo-Addo. She actually tormented the electorates in a constituency and also actually fired an AK-47 gun and ended up killing one person at one time. But because their government was in power, she got scot-free. And I understand the looting of ballot boxes, and a lot of people are not saying very good things. And I'm not sure that because there's a lot of joy. People are enjoying tagging her, Kaswa, Jandam, and it is karma that has befallen her and all that. Yeah. Steve, continue.
Yeah, Nana, your network is a very big network, and I won't make any comment that has legal implications. She didn't have a very good image. She had a very bad image and publicity in her constituency and the whole of Ghana. You get it?
Yes.
But that said, I wasn't happy that it happened. I wasn't happy. This sort of thing has a way of repeating itself, because once it has happened, remember we are going for a by-election in Abuja, one of MPP's stronghold. So it is very likely that this may happen again. And if it happens, it is going to continue to happen over and over. It is now time that the law must take its course. If Hawa Kumsin is known to have committed crime, she must face the law. Just using mob action is not the way to go.
Right. Okay.
It has a
Okay,
tendency.
Steve. Let's hear from Doc, and then I'll come to John. And
Nana, please, if I can come in before Doctor comes in, because I'm
okay,
aware.
go on.
And I think I need
go on, Adam.
I think Ghana should be serious enough to tackling electoral malpractices and electoral criminalities. You see, this thing shouldn't have happened, as Doctor said. We don't want history repeating itself. Hawa Kumsin shouldn't have been even in that position to come to the polling station to start spraying pepper guns. What is the Emil Short report on what happened in the same Ablekuma or the other constituency? What is it? Where somebody was killed and an MP was also slapped. What was the report? Why didn't the government reacted on the report? So we need to start putting measures in place. Election is not do or die. Why do you have to go and fight when you want to employ somebody? To even not to come and serve you, to come and be your master. So I think people should clue up, and then the laws should be allowed to work. Whether you are a security service person, whether you are a member of a political party, whether you are a citizen who is going to vote,
if you do anything that goes against the laws of the land, the law should deal with you. So it serves as a deterrent to others that would have the intention of doing that. When
Okay.
Hawa Yakubu shot,
Yeah, go on.
when she started doing these things, if the law had taken its course, she wouldn't have done it. Even amongst her own peers, her own members of party, and then the higher echelon of the party, to what is his name? The another outspoken big mouth person in MPP, Kennedy Japan. He's not on a good terms with her because he said she's a very insolent and she is a power drunk person and she's arrogant. You see, so some of these things shouldn't happen in our society. Ghanaians were not known to be sort of violent, especially let alone a woman being such a violent person in there. It's not nice. So it serves her right, but I want the laws to take its course. Any person that committed any crime there should be made to face the full rigors of the law.
Okay, thank you so much there. Doc.
Hello, yeah, good evening.
Evening.
Concerning the violence we experience at Abdulkumar North, violence begets violence. And the people commit crime and they are not punished for the crime they commit. We begin to accept and the crime will go to repeat again. That's what happened. And my whereby say if we are related or related to authority or the powers of political power, we can commit crime and just go like that, go scot free. We experienced the same thing some years back at Ayawaso West Ogun. They established a committee, nobody was punished. In 2020, 2024, this our commission took a gun, shot and killed life-beating human beings. What happened? She wasn't arrested, nothing was done. And I think 2024, she repeated the same thing. Had tax to beat an this organizer almost to death. He had tax to beat Hanabisu, and she shot and killed people in body light. Had people to burn people's motorbikes and cars in Kasuma. Committed all this crime. The Ghana Police Service did virtually nothing about it because he had the authority. So if people are not punished for the crime they have committed, as my brother said, it's going to repeat. And if I'm not careful, this can blow the nation to a full civil war some years ahead. Because if people realize that, okay, we can now win election by violence, but not by the push, not by a vote, and people are going to resort to more violence to actually win the election. And when people are going to win election by violence, but not through the casting of the vote, then that becomes a coup d'etat or a civil war. And that's what is bound to happen if we don't take serious action against this electoral violence. And decisive action should be taken by JM now. Otherwise, in the near future elections, people will resort to violence to win the election instead of allowing a very prudent, effective electoral process to take place. Thank you.
Okay, finally, the Agrada issue. John,
Yeah.
you didn't touch on the. No, I mean John.
Yeah,
Keys.
I think most of the other guests have said some of the things that I would like to have said. I think the law in generally the police, they have no power, do they really? So those issues need to be addressed.
Mm.
You know, if you're a politician and you commit a crime, you should pay for it. I mean, you know, it's like a no man's land if you are in power. And I think most of the things that are going on there is the greed for power. Like you know, you're there to serve the country, the people, not yourself.
Sure.
You know, that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, thank you so much. We are hard pressed with time, so I'm afraid we have to bring the very fruitful discussion and conversation to a close. I want to seize this opportunity to get John Kessie Keys. Your last and final words.
I think Ghana is a country. I think it's going to change, but it needs work, you know, and commitment.
Right. So, do you think that Ghana being looked as a beacon of democracy in spite our parliamentarians fighting here and there occasionally.
Yeah, I mean that
You think if Ghana gets it right, that could trickle down to the rest of the Pan-African cause, and Africa can finally unite for a strong continent.
the trouble is Ghana had the power. Ghana was in a position to lead on all of this. But unfortunately, they're not. I mean, you can see what Traore is doing.
Okay, that's a good point. Let's go. Steve, final points.
Yes, to also build on what John said, his optimism that yes, we are struggling now, but there is hope. But that hope rests in you and I. As I speak to you, there's a movement to break the duopoly that has taken hold of Ghana. That third force needs to come from the grassroots. And the grassroots are realizing that the politicians are taking them for granted. So they need to wake up, come together, and fight the duopoly. We'll speak about this then, and you get to know more. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you, Steve Apolima. We appreciate you. Dr. John Brown. JB.
Okay, I want to add something to what my colleague said, but my view might be a little divergent from them. This multi-party democracy we are practicing here in its current form is a mechanism by the imperialists in the West to change governments or to have an alternative power to change government anytime they want. It's not actually intended for us to develop. So if you truly want to develop and get somewhere, the MPP and the funds means to work together and set long-term objectives for how to develop. Well, this democracy will not go nowhere. We are one of the panelists who are making reference to Traore. You're not parting democracy. You're not parting this democracy. We have to find means to work together, or the Western imperialists are going to use it as a mechanism to control us and keep us where you are. Because MPP see NDC as the enemy and the vice versa, which is not the case. The rare enemies are in Washington and London and Paris, planning how they're going to sabotage our every effort to develop. That's my take on it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. JB. And finally, our beautilicious Nanama. Nana, then I would enjoy and then you bring.
Law must be enforced.
Your voice is far off, Nana.
Especially in my country, in Ghana. I think law must be enforced. Like, yeah, your system, no, it's so low to the extent, say, and they go scot-free. We have to make sure that we have the laws. So it's not like there is no laws. There are laws, but the
doesn't work.
Yes, that is the problem.
That's very sad. Thank you so much, panelists, for tonight. I'll seize this opportunity to thank you for your selfless service as we move forward in trying to unite the whole of Africa, and a journey of 1,000 miles. The first step has to be taken, and we are glad Voice of London Television and its flagships are leading the way. And we also have the mighty heavyweights like Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. We have this the second coming of John Mahama, also doing well according to reports coming through. And then we have the lady is in Tanzania and other parts of Africa. So we are looking forward. The Sahel region are doing very well. So probably sooner or later, Africa will get it right, and the whole system will function well, because united we stand, divided we fall. And I can imagine such a strong bloc like an African bloc, which is the Pan-African bloc, have its own economy. Whoa, fantastic. Anyway, on that note, I'll say thank you once again. We want to thank Adams and then Lady Evelyn Hart and everybody else. We look forward in engaging in the course of the week, and have a very good night and a very good week and a pleasant working hours in the week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.